Welcome to Girl Talk. We're in a good place today.
Yes, we are.
And I don't mean just emotionally. We're actually in a
That
great
too.
place.
Yeah.
That too. We're filming on site in Cambridge, Wisconsin, and this is Cambridge Winery. We're just outside of their tasting room and event center. Gorgeous day and gorgeous venue.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful. The sun is shining.
I know. It's a mood booster.
It
I'm
is.
enjoying myself. I haven't even had any wine. And I'm enjoying
And it's still great to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, they say that money can't buy happiness, but it can buy wine, and that's almost the same thing. And
that's practically
much is.
right.
And now we can buy Wisconsin wine. We're going to meet with Frank Peregrine. He's the owner here at Cambridge Winery, and he's going to talk to us about the Wisconsin wines that they've been working on.
Yeah, they have kind of an interesting concept of buying some grapes and fruits locally and making wines of those. They also have California wines, but they're actually have actually started harvesting their own local fruits.
Right.
So they're going to be really the whole package from start to finish.
And he planted those a year ago,
Right.
right?
Got
So I
started.
never realized that the process is so long and you have to put so much into it.
You really need to be patient.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he says it takes 3 or 4 years before what they plant can even be used to make wine. So right now, I think it's neat though that he still is able to make Wisconsin wine
Yes.
from other growers, at least for now.
And
so
sort of
cool.
sourcing from different areas. So that's all neat. We'll learn about that process in a little while, and I think it's going to be a little bit of an education for us all. It'll
Absolutely.
be neat to find out how that works.
Sure, we'll ask him for some recommendations, maybe too.
Some wine recommendations, of course. yes.
Definitely. And their event facility here too is beautiful.
It is beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, gorgeous.
We'll also be talking a little more serious topic about online safety for your kids. If you have little ones or young adults, that's an important thing. Even
Yeah.
for ourselves, we worry about our own safety, but teaching kids what they can do and what they maybe shouldn't be doing.
Right. It's hard because children have that innate want to trust people.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. You hate to, rob them
it,
of
yeah.
that. But on the flip side, unfortunately, there are people who exploit that and take advantage of it. And so we're going to talk about some tips and how to keep them safe, what that's going to look like. And there's a specific event that's going on soon that you can actually go to and learn right there. So
This event that's coming up has a really impressive presenter. You'll want to stay tuned and listen to who's coming to present that information about online safety for your children.
and later, Ellen is going to show off her black belt skills.
yeah.
Don't want to miss it.
You don't want to
You're
miss
not going to
that.
want to.
But you actually have a brother that's a black belt.
He is, yep, and it's been cool to watch him through that whole process, and it's so much time and energy, that they put into the training and having that focus. And
It's a discipline.
it is, and I think that's honestly probably why my parents got him into it when he was young, but yeah, just the focus. And
You don't tell them that though when they're
no,
little.
no,
You just
no,
tell
you
them it's
don't.
cool.
It's fun and it's cool, but yeah, we learned some cool stuff later on in the show.
So you'll be able to chime in when we chat with our first guest.
Yes, definitely.
All right, well, we'll be chatting with those guests coming up next, talking about martial arts and fitness right after this.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. We're here in Cambridge. We're at Cambridge Winery, and we're enjoying ourselves. It's a gorgeous day, and oh my gosh, I can't wait to take a stroll through the vineyards a little bit later. Right now, we're talking martial arts, and we're joined by our friends Billy and Charles, who join us with a new name and a new brand and kind of an announcement to make. So we're so excited. First of all, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
So the new name is Wisconsin Martial Arts and Fitness Centers. Tell it like it is. That's what I say. That's perfect.
Yeah,
Talk to us about that.
Wisconsin Martial Arts and Fitness Center. We are comprised of a diverse group of individuals, professional trainers, martial artists, and teachers that are dedicated to teaching and serving our community. We're very happy. We work very hard on our new brand. We think it's very palatable for the community, and we want to make sure that we continue to strive to better ourselves and to better the people who we work with. So this new format that we have really gives us, the ability to expand in different areas and allows us, to help people reach their potential.
Absolutely.
awesome.
Well, I love you guys. I love your philosophy. So thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And kind of going off of that, you guys offer a variety of different programs and a bunch of different categories too. Can you share what those are?
Yeah. So we have regular traditional martial arts classes for kids and separate classes for adults. That's traditional stuff as well as sparring and grappling classes. We also have fitness-related classes. Like Mr. Dean said, we're both certified personal trainers. So we have fitness and weight loss programs, cardio kickboxing classes, as well as circuit training. Some of the stuff that we're really proud of is our workout in the community. So our youth programs with tons of schools throughout the Madison Metropolitan School District and through MSCR. We're really proud of those programs, as well as our bully prevention, women's empowerment, and self-defense training.
That is so cool, and a little bit of something for everybody, whatever you're interested in.
Absolutely. There was a couple of things in there that I picked out and thought, oh, that sounds fun. And bully prevention, that's really relevant these days, unfortunately. But there's so many instances that you hear of, and kids really need that training to know how to react in certain circumstances. So all good things. Glad to hear it. Now, you have, I can't imagine making it to black belt, but you've got people going through black belt graduation. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we actually have a black belt ceremony that's going to take place on the 18th of this month. And we have over 30 individuals that are going to be getting their black belt. So the loyalty and just our retention over the past several years has just been outstanding. And we're going to kick it off with a great ceremony. And these people have worked hard. They've dedicated a lot of time. And
Kick it off too. I couldn't help myself.
Right?
Sorry.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was an awesome pun. Really proud of the people that have stuck with us, and they're going to be rewarded, and it'll be a ceremony like many organizations have probably never seen before. So we're really proud of that.
Very cool.
So exciting. Over 30. That's really impressive.
Wow.
Yep, kids, adults. So we're really pumped about it.
And getting your black belt is such a big deal. I know my brother is a black belt, but there's so much work and hours and so much focus that goes into it. So that is just so cool. But for those who are maybe interested, what are your grand opening details coming up?
So the West location just recently moved, and they're having a grand opening on June 11th, and that'll be from noon until 2 o'clock. There's going to be deals on stuff. They're running special classes where people can come in and just check it out, get a little
so
self-defense training. So if it's kids or adults, they should definitely just come in and check out Mr. Dean's West School.
Yeah, the cool thing about it is, we have a school on the north side of Madison, the west side, and the east side. So a lot of the specials that we run in conjunction with each other. So we want to make sure that everyone knows that just because my west side school moved and has their grand opening, that the north side and the east side won't have those same specials. So
Sure.
Everyone gets to participate in the celebration.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Any specials you want to highlight real quick before we go?
Yeah, we're doing a month for $19.99.
Wow.
That's unlimited training. We give away a free uniform also. That's for kids and adults. Again, as Billy said, we have a lot of unique programs. Our fitness classes have really kicked off. Our programming, there's programming that comes with those classes. We have summer camps that are available now. So a lot of unique things that are happening that we're really proud of.
It's a great time to get involved. Well, this is Billy and Charles with Wisconsin Martial Arts and Fitness Center. So get it all in there. Thank you so much for joining, and very exciting.
Thanks for having
Glad
us.
to talk to you. When we return, boy, it's so hard to keep kids safe online these days. We're going to talk about how you can do that coming up after the break, so stay with us.
And welcome back to Girl Talk. We're filming here at the Cambridge Winery in Cambridge, Wisconsin. Lovely venue, and we'll meet the owner a little bit later and learn what's going on with their wines this season. But next, if you have young ones in your life, little ones or even young adults, you know how important it is to keep them safe online as a parent, as an adult guardian. So we're talking about a free event that's coming up to teach us what we can do. And joining us is Cami Sorensen. She's the president of the Junior League of Madison. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Really an important topic, and I'm so glad we're here to talk about it. So the event is coming on June 16th, and it's in Fitchburg. Who's speaking or presenting the information at this event?
We have actually a former NCIS, like the TV show,
Wow.
special agent. She was a special agent for 14 years and actually traveled all across the world chasing the bad guys, basically, and investigating espionage and different kinds of abuses. And so she now travels around the country educating people on how to avoid being the victim of various kinds of attacks.
Well, we worry about it as adults, but we worry about it as our kids too. That's a very impressive sounding guest. Don't
That
you
is
think?
so impressive.
Yeah.
Very cool. So who is this event meant for?
This event is meant for anyone who has kids in their life that they care about.
Sure.
So we're talking about parents, we're talking about educators, we're talking about members of the faculty, different people who work for the state in different agencies, and people who have nieces and nephews or just kids in their life that they care about.
Very cool. And I think, everybody has those people, at one stage
Absolutely.
or another.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about the act of keeping kids safe online. And I think people watching at home, I know myself, I have some ideas of what that means and what kinds of trouble they might get into online. But maybe tell us about some of the common misconceptions as far as adults too, keeping adults and kids safe.
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest misconceptions that we have learned in this process of bringing forward this event is that many parents and adults think that this kind of crime doesn't happen in our town. And that's just not correct.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Right, so that's one of the biggest misconceptions because it does happen right here, and we've had news stories just within the last 90 days of just really, really dangerous things happening to kids because of their activity online. Another really big misconception is that parents think that if they have a good kid, then their child won't likely find themselves in trouble online. But the reality is that oftentimes when there's danger, the kids don't know that they're getting into danger. They think that whatever is happening in it is innocent and fun and normal, and that's just not the case.
That's so scary too, because it does seem to sort of mask itself as you don't know who you're talking to, you don't know the intentions behind the words, and that's what makes it so scary and so dangerous. And to your point that it can't happen to me mentality is really what gets us into trouble.
Yes.
Exactly.
I've heard the advice that says if you wouldn't do it in person, don't do it online. So would you accept a free gift from someone you don't know? Would you talk to a stranger? Things like that.
Correct.
What kind of support have you been receiving from the community on this upcoming event?
Because this kind of an outreach event that's free is just really uncommon in Madison. We haven't really seen anything like this. There is just a ton of excitement. We have some wonderful corporate sponsors, and also we're hearing from schools that they want to send their teachers and their faculty members and different state agencies that they are sending their staff on paid time to learn about this really important information.
That sounds great. We're almost out of time. Where can viewers go to learn about this event that's coming up? It's coming up quick.
It is coming up quick, so it's on June 16th at 10 a.m. And there is free registration. It's open for everybody at juniorleagueofmadison.org.
Great. That's really important information. Thank you so much. This is Jamie Sorensen with the Junior
Cammie.
League. I'm sorry. This is Cammie Sorensen with the Junior League of Madison. We'll be right back with Cambridge Winery right after this. Welcome back to Girl Talk. We are so pleased to be filming on site here in Cambridge, Wisconsin at the Cambridge Winery. So if you take a chemistry graduate and mix in some master gardening skills, I give you Frank Peregrine, owner of Cambridge Winery. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me again.
And thanks for having us here. This is a beautiful place to be.
Well, especially today. We're very lucky.
Yeah. So we're in front of the event center for Cambridge Winery and out in the lawn area, just gorgeous. So 1 year ago, Frank, you a self-proclaimed beer guy, by the way, planted some grapevines a year ago, and those grapes still aren't ready, and yet you're offering Wisconsin wines. I'm wondering, how can you do that? How does that work?
Well, we are making Wisconsin wines from 2015 and 2016, fruit that we're acquiring from other growers around the state. Our vines won't be ready until 2018 that we planted last year, and we're planting additional vines this year and probably next. It takes about 4 years before you get your first harvest. So in the meantime, we're acquiring fruit from other growers. The 2015 wine that we're making the fruit was acquired from growers near Eau Claire, by Westby, which is by Viroqua, from Plymouth, and even from the University of Wisconsin Ag Research Station on Mineral Point Road in West Madison.
In Madison, love that. Go Bucky, got some Badger pride in your wine.
Absolutely. Yeah, both red and white, which is good. It's
That's perfect.
The Wisconsin colors.
Right,
So
perfect.
we're outside your event center right now, but where do you actually make the Wisconsin wines, and where's your vineyard?
Our vineyard is just about a block away in a development called the Vineyards at Cambridge, which is a residential development that has homes, condominiums, and apartments nestled among the vines. The winery will be built on that property, and we have a distillery that's built there as well. That's an independent business from the winery. But our wine today we're making actually at a winery called Vines and Rushes up in Ripon, Wisconsin, under contract. So the fruit we bought was shipped there. The wine is produced there. We're about ready to bottle it up, and when we do, we will technically buy it from them and bring it in here and begin serving it.
Very cool.
Yeah. Well, and I just love the integration of the residential homes and the vineyards. I think that sounds just so romantic and so wonderful to like live among the vineyard.
Let's
It's
move
just
in.
Great.
Yeah,
Very
do it.
unique.
You're
I
all-
want a vineyard in the
I want in.
backyard.
You're all welcome. There's plenty of room. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what a beautiful concept. But let's get down to business now. Let's talk tasting wines. I know you have 2 wine tasting rooms. You've got, of course, the one here in Cambridge, a newer location. You also have the tasting room on Whitney Way in Madison. That's been around a little bit longer. So let's talk about what's being served at the tasting rooms until now.
Well, we've started out by sourcing our wines from California, from a boutique winemaker and a winery there in Central Coast. Our wines come from one of 2 vineyards. One of those vineyards is about 1.5 miles from the Pacific, and it's a cool vineyard by California standards, meaning it's perhaps 80 degrees during the day, during the heat of the day. It's great for Pinot Noir, Pinot Gris, Chardonnay, and Syrah.
I approve.
Janet approved.
The other vineyard's about 30 miles away, far enough away and over the pass that it gets hot during the day. It's not cooled by the Pacific. That vineyard gets 105 during the day, and it's great for Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Petit Syrah, other Bordeaux varietals that require that kind of heat to ripen the fruit.
That's a bigger, bolder wine.
The bigger wines, generally speaking, some of the more delicate wines like Pinot Noir require a cool vineyard, otherwise the vines will literally shut down and not produce. So you have to have the right kind of microclimate to have Pinot Noir grown. So we started out by offering the California wines and are introducing our Wisconsin wines within the next month or so, as soon as they get bottled up in Ripon, to supplement and add to our portfolio.
Wow.
Okay, so you're buying grapes right now from local grape growers, and you just mentioned the difference between just the California wines, whether they were closer to the coast or not. What's the difference between the California all the way to Wisconsin and those 2 wines?
Well, in Wisconsin, the varietals that are grown in California would not survive our winters. So we have what are called
We barely do.
Right. Yeah.
they're called cold climate varietals. They were developed specifically to be winter hardy. They have to survive to at least 30 below and more likely 35 or 40 below before they pass the sniff test for being grown in Wisconsin and Minnesota. So that kind of limits the selection of things we can grow here. That doesn't mean we can't grow good grapes here. In fact, the grapes are getting better and better over the years as breeders and the university system develop different varietals that will sustain our winter. We don't have the benefit of having hundreds of years of varietal selection from Europe that California does. They just go ahead and take all the French varietals and can plant them, and voila, they grow. But here
Unintended there. Voila.
Yeah, right.
So here, it's only been the last 20 or 30 years that there's been a real concerted effort to find varietals that will grow, and we're having some great success. On the white side, we're able to replicate some of our California whites very closely. On the red side, it's very difficult to have a really big red. However, both Marquette and Petite Pearl have shown to make a very excellent red wine. In fact, our Petite Pearl and Marquette from 2015 they're big, they're bold, they're much better than you would expect from Wisconsin red wine.
Oh, very cool. So how about some of the differences between price-wise between California and Wisconsin?
Well, our costs are lower for the wine that we're producing here. We're going to be able to offer the lower price point. On some of the red wines, like Petite Pearl and Marquette, they'll be price comparable to the California just because very limited quantity, excellent fruit. You know, we need to have that kind of return to pay for growing those kind of varietals.
And before we go really quick, Frank, for viewers at home, what do you think, my questions are all tasting related, of course, but what do you think would be the best one, if you could recommend one purchase for a Wisconsin wine, what would that be?
Well, it would depend on whether you like white or red wines, but I'll go right into the red. On the red side, somebody that likes California red wines would love our Petite Pearl.
Okay.
The 2015 fruit was picked late, harvested at peak of ripeness, and made wonderful wine.
Great suggestion.
There you heard it
Wonderful.
from the expert right there. This is Frank Peregrine is with Cambridge Winery. Thanks so much again, Frank.
Thanks, Frank.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Frank.
And that's it for Girl Talk today. Thanks to all of our guests. Thank you for watching. And from all of us at Channel 57, we'll see you next time.